Welcome to the I Heart My FitBiz podcast, where we will be covering everything you need for inspiration, motivation, and practical advice in how to create a thriving fitness business. Okay, welcome to this week's episode of I Heart My FitBiz podcast. Today we've got an amazing guest. It's Jessica from the stage. So she is going to be sharing 3 secrets to fill your classes using Facebook. So we're going to get right into that in a moment. But first of all, I would love for Jessica to explain a little bit about what she does, who she is, and how she helps fitness professionals. So I'll hand it over to Jessica now.
Thank you for that, Charlotte. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I am from the stage, and I help group fitness instructors just like you pack their classes, grow their classes using Facebook, and rock an extra $500 a month without teaching more classes. I'm a group fitness instructor myself. I teach 3 formats. I have 3 kids. I have been dancing for 30 years. I have been teaching it for 20. And just like when I started group fitness, I really didn't think about growing classes or making money. I took a 2-year hiatus to have babies back to back. And when I came back to dancing and to teaching, I just wanted to get back to dancing and to teaching. That's my comfort zone. And I was happy as a clam dancing. I discovered group fitness. I thought my dancing days were over. I come from like the ballet, hip hop, contemporary, all that, like a stage and studios and things like that. And after babies, I thought my dancing days were over. And that's when I discovered group fitness. And it just gave me new life. I was like, oh my God, I can keep moving and dancing, and fell in love with it. So I was happy teaching at a whole bunch of locations, bringing my kids along to all of these gyms. And, but ultimately, reality kind of set in. And my husband, we were a family of 5, and my husband was the sole provider. So he was like, I'm glad that you're happy, you found your joy, but when are you getting a real job? And that annoyed the hell out of me.
Yes.
Because he was right. He was right? And our passion, our love for what we do doesn't necessarily always pay the bills. And I do have 2 bachelors, a bachelor in business administration and a bachelor in dance. So I could go into the workforce, get an office job, and work as an accountant. And I obviously wasn't doing that because I was making babies and growing my family. But there came a point where, we had to decide whether I was going to take that route or what I was going to do. So we made a deal, my husband and I. And we said that when baby number 3 was old enough to go to school full time, so all 3 kids in school, then that would open up the mornings for me, and I would get a part-time job as an accountant. Or I could make this whole fitness thing work to where it supplanted my part-time income. So of course, that's the thing that changed. Right now, I'm not doing it because it's lovely and I want to lose weight and I want to get out of the house and it's okay. I have 2 people in class. It doesn't matter. We're spreading joy. No, now it matters. Now I wanted to pack my classes. Now I wanted to make significant income because I did not want to go back to an office. I just discovered group fitness. I wanted to do more of this, and I needed it to be, equivalent to a part-time or full-time salary. So that's when I realized that I had no idea how to build a business and how to make, other than like Charlotte said, right, teaching 20 classes a week, I didn't really know how to make this work. So I got pretty obsessed with it. And I knew at the beginning, I realized that I can't really make that much money with group fitness. So I decided to go into a network marketing company and sell skincare. And I thought, okay, that way I'll make money selling this product and I'll still be able to dance because that's my passion, even if I'm not making my money from my dancing. And I was terrible at it. I was terrible at sales. And they had me do these samples and drive around everywhere, giving out samples and doing these parties in my home and talking to people. I am very shy.
Yeah, I am. Do you know what? Listening to you saying this is like, this is my life. This is my life.
It's really amazing because at the time it was so incredibly uncomfortable to talk to people, to sell something to people. And I believed in these products. I loved these products, but it was just uncomfortable to sell to people, to talk to people. I did see that the people who are a little bit more extroverted had an easier time, because for me, it wasn't just the selling, it was also the getting out there and talking to strangers. It was like, ooh. But I really, really, really did not want to go to an office. So I was like, I will get uncomfortable if that will allow me to stay home and keep on dancing, right? So that was kind of like the approach I was taking with it. But ultimately, it was like I flopped, completely flopped, total failure. And then somebody said, Facebook. And I was like, genius. Billions of people on Facebook. I'll make my post, buy one, get one free, or all these specials, and I'll make my sales there. I'll make my sales on Facebook. And just like a whole bunch of group fitness instructors, they post their schedules or post their promos or post all the things. I did my skincare version of that, and it bombed. No, I did not become rich overnight. Sales did not starting to come in. I was like, dang it. But I knew it was possible because I had seen other people make sales through social media. It's just that I wasn't making sales. So I knew it was possible. And with 3 kids, and they were small, they were like toddler age, I'd rather learn how to do the online thing than drive around teaching at 500 gyms, or drive around giving all these samples, or, having all these strangers at my house and doing these parties that I am a terrible host. Please do not go to any party that I host. Do not. I am a terrible host. So I was like, it's better for me to just learn this online thing. So I took every free challenge, every boot camp, every webinar. I started paying for courses, hiring coaches. Like, I did everything that I could to get my hands on to learn this skill. And lo and behold, it worked, right? It worked. So it's not just about posting. There's so much more that goes on. And once I learned how to post, that's when sales started to trickle in. And one of the big reasons I wanted to create these sales is because I wanted to go to the Zumba convention, which is in another state. I'm in Texas. The Zumba convention is in Florida. That requires a plane, which obviously I couldn't afford. So, but learning how to do Facebook and having these sales was now affording me to go to this trip. So I was able to finance my trip 3 years in a row using Facebook to sell my skin stuff. And I was just like, whoa, this works. However, I've been dancing for 30 years. That's my true passion. Helping women with their wrinkles, not my passion.
Yeah.
So that was a means to an end. And after 3 years, I kind of got bored talking about wrinkles and cellulite and all of these things. And I was like, I would just want to use Facebook to talk about what I love, which is dancing. And I started switching the topics. I used the same strategies that I used, but this time about my classes, because I was teaching at the time. And what I didn't know is what happened next. I didn't know that my classes were going to grow because of what I was posting on Facebook. So my classes went from 5 to 55, not just one class. All of my classes were significantly packed. As in, like, one time I begged my husband to go to one of my Zumba classes as my birthday gift. I'm like, please just go. It's so important to me. And he went to the class and it was so packed. He actually got mad because he was like, what's the point of me going? You didn't even see me. You didn't even pay any attention, because there was like 60 people in the room and I was trying to create eye contact. But, it was just so incredibly packed. And not only that, but when I started, I'm always learning. So I'm always taking trainings, whether it's online trainings about how to use Facebook and grow your businesses, or it's trainings on my formats. And I take these master classes and, so I take trainings and everybody started to know who I was. And they're like, oh, I know this is a podcast. You can't see me, but I wear a big white hat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is the girl with the white hat. And they started taking pictures with me and selfies with me. And one of those times I had my sister-in-law with me because we went to one of these events and it was open to the public. And she's like, are you famous? And I'm like, no, very bizarre. But it was all through the power of Facebook. So I was like, wow, this really puts your name out there. This really puts your face out there. But what really touched me with Facebook is that at the time I was giving a lot of free content on helping instructors how to become better instructors. I wasn't talking about Facebook yet. I was just talking, cueing, memorization, eye contact, just how to be a better instructor inside the class. And I started talking with a lot of instructors, and they were telling me that they were about to quit because they were burnt out, or their classes weren't growing, or they were replacing like a hip hop class and it's Zumba, and it's people and they're about to lose their classes, or they weren't making enough money or whatever. And they saw one of my videos and they tried out one of my tips, and it worked for the following week. And I'm like, okay, so I guess one more week. And then they kept on doing the things that I was saying, and it kept them going for another week, and for another week, and for another week. And then I would meet them, and they were like, Jessica, that was like a year ago. My classes are packed. I'm super happy. And I didn't quit. And I had so many of these conversations. I'd be crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I did that. I didn't know you could have so much impact with Facebook. So for me, that was huge. And ultimately, I wanted to launch online, but at the time I was still kind of boxed into this idea of like helping instructors inside the class. And one of my best friends, she's like, why don't you teach us Facebook? And I was like, silly, what do you mean teach you Facebook? Anyone can do Facebook. And she's like, not like you.
Yeah.
Not like you. You're doing something different. I'm posting and my classes aren't growing. And then you're doing a whole other different thing. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, because I took all of these, it was like 4.5 years of like trying to grab everything that I could on it. So it was like teaching it to somebody else, would it even work? And like, what would I teach? So she was like, just teach me. I'm like, well, it's going to take several weeks. I mean, 4 years, it's not going to be like a webinar, and here everything that I did, like, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's fine. Do it, teach it to me. And if I, if I show some results, then that means it works. And then you can teach it to more people. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So I started teaching her the things, and like 4 weeks in, she went viral. And and so it was just like, wow. So then I started, asking who else wants it and who else wants it. And that was about 3 years ago. And instructors right now this is my signature 6-week course. I do a lot of free content in my Facebook page, but that was the beginning of the course that actually changed my life. And it's changing the life of instructors. And they've doubled their classes or tripled their in-person classes before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, online, in person. They teach one format, several formats. They're in the US, they're in the UK, they're in Australia, they're in New Zealand, they're in Romania. They get hired for jobs. They get pay raises for jobs. They get re-inspired to teach when, you kind of lose your steam. And so many wonderful things have happened since then. And I really owe it all to Facebook. I didn't know there was such power in a platform. So now I am fully dedicated to spreading the word of how fitness instructors can use Facebook really to spread the word about them, about their classes, and help them reach more people, because the more people that you reach with your classes, that's the more people that we're helping, right? That you're helping. So I want to help you help more people.
That is an amazing story. And like you said at the beginning, all of those things, I think the majority of fitness professionals have done. They're doing I think I've done about 3 network marketing companies. But again, it's and that's all. It's almost that underlying belief of like, because I love teaching fitness, I can't make an income from it, and so we think we need a part-time job, or we think we need a network marketing sideline to so we can, in order for us to do what we love in teaching classes. That is almost like the journey of a group, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. A group fitness instructor shouldn't have to supplement really their income. Why not have it as a full-time income?
It should be your full-time income, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you've invested, years in all these formats and teaching it and learning it and getting licensed and certified and staying licensed and staying certified. Yeah. And a lot of instructors teach several formats, and they do this like with such passion and joy, and yet they're earning, nothing, and they need to, or not enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's so incredibly unfair. I remember when I was, right now, everything is kind of like established, but when I was, before the stage, before all of this, I remember being very frustrated at the universe because I've been dancing for 30 years. I've been teaching it for 20, and here I'm at a gym earning $20 per hour.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I were an architect, I would have my own studio, right? Jessica Architect. If I were a graphic designer, I'd have my own. So like 20 years of experience in any field, you have your own, your own studio, your own thing. I can't remember the word in English, but like you would have your own little thing. But with instructors, we have 30 years of experience, and we're still stuck teaching at a gym or renting space or teaching, 25 classes a week. And that's wear and tear on our body. That's not sustainable, right? How many years can you teach 30 classes, 25 classes a week? 10 years if you're in your 20s, or like maybe 20 years if you're in your 20s, 10 years if you're in your 30s, another 5 years if you're in your 50s, or if you're really good at coaching your classes, right? But it's not really sustainable. And I was like, there has to be another way for fitness instructors to use their fitness knowledge, right? So when you're young and when you're getting into the whole group fitness thing, you need your body. You need to have fitness skills to teach your class and to teach to several formats. You need to be in class. You need to put in the time. You need to relate with the students. You need to be able to teach a rock solid class. But after that, give it 10 years, 15 years, you already have the skills. You can always hone them. But now you have fitness knowledge. And the knowledge lives in your head. And the knowledge is the thing that should get you paid more in addition to what you're actually delivering in the classroom. And that's what I've been trying to do these past years, is to, first of all, equip instructors with marketing tools, because instructors were really good at teaching our class, not so good about spreading the word about our class.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's my first goal, is to equip instructors with marketing, because that's not our strong suit. It's not meant to be our strong suit.
Yeah.
We're meant to be good inside the class. So I want to supplement your skills inside a class with the skills that you need outside of your class to fill your class, so that you have a class to teach. And the other side of that is to help you uncover your fitness knowledge and package it in a way that you can create premium products, so that you are making your money through your fitness knowledge and then teaching what you want to teach and use your fitness skills, as you want to, but not having your fitness skills be the sole provider, the sole income provider, because that doesn't pay.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And when we train as a fitness professional, there isn't that aspect of marketing. That is, when we start out in the industry, I think we expect, I know I'm good at what I do, I love what I do, and that's enough. And it's almost like we come to that, and it almost should be enough, because we are really passionate people and we love what we do. But actually, it's really not enough, in terms of, if you have got a fitness business and you are teaching classes and you want to fill those classes, and you want to do it all your life and for as long as you can, you need to have those marketing skills and those business skills as well.
Unfortunately, the formats are not in the business of teaching you how to fill your classes.
Yeah.
The formats are in the business of teaching you how to do that format, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Right. You take their training and they have continuing education for you to come back and hone your skills. They're really good. Formats are good at teaching you the format. Now, they do complement that with some marketing, but as instructors, we think like, they have an app, or they're giving us these marketing materials, extra bonuses, and we think that's going to get the job done. And then you go into the workforce, and unfortunately, that's not enough nowadays. Maybe before it was, and I've spoken to hundreds of instructors who've been teaching for 30 years. Like they're veteran instructors, right? And they're like, well, back in the day, all you had to do was teach a good class, word would spread, and people would come. So we didn't really need to market our classes. So it makes sense that, the formats didn't really taught you that, because it wasn't really a need. But, fast forward 30 years from now, especially after COVID, competition is fierce. So before, there was one yoga instructor in your whole area. Now there's several yoga instructors. If before it was just Pilates, you were the only instructor teaching Pilates in your studio. or in your gym, and now there's several Pilates classes in that studio. If you were the only Zumba instructor, teaching that in your during the day, like at the gym I teach, sometimes there's 2 Zumba instructors that day.
Yeah.
So now students have more, more options, and post-COVID, there's a whole virtual world. So now you're not only competing with other classes or other formats or other gyms or other locations, you're competing with everything that's going online virtually.
Yeah.
So competition, now teaching a good class is a prerequisite for you to not bomb your class. It does not fill up your class the way it did 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So now
absolutely.
if you want to fill your class, now you have to level up your skills and actually learn marketing, like actual marketing, not just here's a promo, I'm using my marketing materials from my format. You actually need to learn some marketing concepts to start attracting people and spreading the word, because nowadays it's just not enough to teach a class and allow word of mouth to spread. It will, but it will be very slow, and your employer might not have that patience, or your wallet, if you're renting space or your studio, you might not be able to afford that time. And you need to speed things up to stay in business.
Yeah, absolutely. And those, like, it's a very noisy world out there in terms of, promoting yourself and I think as fitness, I mean, I can only speak for kind of fitness instructors that I've worked with, and the majority of those are UK based, but we're not very good at bigging ourselves up either. And so we're not very good at promoting ourselves, and we're not very good at, I think there's several comments that I've seen. It's like, I love what I do, but I'm never going to be a millionaire from it, or it doesn't matter if I'm not making it a lot of money because I love what I do and I would do it anyway for free. And it's like, that's not really the point. You deserve to have this income so you don't have to sacrifice your health and your time and your energy to help other people with their health. I mean, we're supposed to be an example of when we're teaching, helping people to get healthier and teach in our classes. We are helping people on their fitness journey, and a lot of the time, at the same time, we are the ones suffering because we're exhausted, we're burnt out, we're doing wear and tear on our joints because we're taking on so much because we need the money to take on. So let's get into the 3 secrets. I'm rubbing my hands together. Let's get into the 3 secrets.
She's looking at it like it's candy. Okay, 3 Facebook secrets to pack your classes using Facebook. So secret number 1 is going to be the power of 1. So like you said, it's not really, specific to the UK. Instructors in general don't really like posting about themselves. We do like to serve. That's what got us into this industry. We like to help other people. However, we've now noticed that we need to spread the word about our classes, right? So what a lot of instructors will do, and I was completely guilty of this too, is just post everywhere. We're posting on Facebook, we're posting on groups, we're doing our stories, we're doing on Instagram. TikTok is rising, so let's do TikTok and email and LinkedIn. We post everywhere, right? In the hopes that somebody will see our promo and will go, oh, how exciting. I should go to Charlotte's class. But then that doesn't happen. We're posting everywhere. Our classes kind of stay stagnant. So we keep on finding new places, new platforms. Well, maybe next door, maybe this other app that's up in the rise. Maybe I need to post there. And the problem with that is that posting everywhere doesn't work when you don't know how to post in a way that gets attention, in a way that gets the attention from the right people, and in a way that gets those people to actually take action, right? Yes. If you don't know how to do that in one platform, posting in more platforms doesn't fix the problem. So it's kind of like wanting to, go from point A and point B, and you're like, okay, I need a car to go from point A and point B. And you get in the car, you turn it on, and you don't actually drive the car. You turn it on and then you switch to another vehicle. And you turn it on and you switch to another vehicle, and you turn that one on and you switch to another vehicle. And then you're like, why am I not getting to my destination? Why am I not progressing and advancing? Well, it's because you've been switching cars, but you haven't really been driving. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it's the Facebook car or the Instagram car or the TikTok car or the email car. What the problem is that you're in all of these places and not really committing to you're not really committing to one. So you're not really learning how to drive, right?
Yeah.
The problem is not which platform. The problem is that you don't know how to use a platform. So instead of switching from one vehicle to another vehicle, just learn how to drive, right? Commit to one vehicle, doesn't matter which one, and learn the rules of the road, learn the rules of the car, right? Learn how, get a map, learn how to get to your destination, and commit to one. And once you know how to drive with one vehicle, now you can modify that strategy. And, now you know how to drive. Now you can do the Instagram car or the TikTok car. And all you do is just modify some of the things that are already working from the Facebook car to fit the other platform, because every platform is a little bit different and has different audiences. So you are going to have to modify what works on one platform so that to have it work on the other ones. But if you don't know how to drive, then it doesn't matter how often or how much or how many platforms you're posting on. Same way that we get burnt out teaching 25 classes a week, you're going to get burnt down with social media, and you're going to be like, oh, I hate it. This doesn't work. And it feels like a chore. And you're like, because you don't know how to, right? So secret number one is to choose one platform, right?
I think that's so important. Yeah, I often get people come to me and say, when I ask questions like, what's the number one thing that you're struggling with in your fitness business right now, or filling your classes or going online? And a lot of the time it's, I just need to master how to do Instagram and social media and Facebook, and I need to get reels on TikTok, do videos on TikTok, and I just really want to know how to do that. So if I master that, and I know how to do all of those things, and everybody's on this thing, so I'm going to start that as well. And if I know how to do, it's just like all about all the social media and like all the things that are, I suppose, trending and they're seeing other people doing. And a lot of the time they are focused on one platform, and then it's like the shiny object of Reels comes along and they see other people on Instagram. So, oh, maybe I need to be over there. And then they start on there and then they think, oh, maybe I need to be on TikTok.
And they're just starting cars. Like, can you see that? It's just like they're turning on the car and then they're walking away from it. You're like,
yeah, absolutely. Oh. Yeah. And it is like, it's almost like that. I think social media in general is that FOMO, isn't it? We think there's something else better going on over there that we need to get in on in order for us to be successful.
Here's the secret. When you see somebody else being successful doing Reels or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or email or whatever, that was not their first rodeo. They have been dedicated to creating content in that platform to the point where they got good at it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, pretend you're not a fitness instructor, but you want to be a fitness instructor, but you can't decide which format. And you're like, oh my gosh, I want to teach yoga, and I want to teach Zumba, and I want to teach strength, and I want to teach body works, and I want to teach jazzercise. And you take a class from each one, and then you're like, why isn't anybody coming to my class? And you're like, because you haven't chosen a format. You're not really certified in anything.
But yeah, don't you think that one of the reasons why fitness instructors are struggling is because we are like that. We like to teach everything. We like to teach everyone. We are giving people, and we like to do everything, and we're passionate, multi-passionate. And so obviously that's gone overload on our social media and on our marketing as well. And we really need to just, exactly. Yeah.
And I've worked with now over 200 instructors, helping them grow their classes. And I love working with instructors because I get it. Like, ooh, shiny objects, shiny, squirrel.
Yeah.
It's my job to grab that instructor. This is why we have weekly coaching calls during our programs, because it's my job to focus you back in, reel you in, edit, so that you stay on track and you don't go, ooh, shiny object. And I'm like, I'm having to reel you in, like, we'll get to that, but first, like, let's focus on this, right? If you want to become an instructor, choose a format. I'll be a Zoom instructor. Okay, choose that, take the training, get good at it, get some classes, get the experience. And now that you have a class going, okay, what else do you want? I also want to teach yoga. Okay, now that this one is going, go teach yoga, go take a training, practice, get a class, like rinse and repeat, right? But we don't take 5 different format trainings at the same time and expect to be awesome at them the first day. However, we expect that from our social media, right? Yeah. We expect to be good at these platforms without knowing anything about them, without learning anything from them, and just saying, oh, I should just be able to post.
Yeah.
Social media is very much like a performing art. So I come from the stage and ballet and jazz and theater and all of that, right? And group fitness is very similar to all of that. So it takes an incredible amount of work behind the scenes to make sure that you teach that 1 hour that you're teaching is seamless. You're easy to follow. It's fun. People feel successful. You're teaching for 1 hour, but it did not take you 1 hour. It took you a whole training, 5 months of doing this. It took a lot of failure. It took a lot of practice. You practiced in your car. You practiced while you were teaching. You practiced with your partner. You know, there was so much that happened behind the scenes so that by the time you're teaching that 1 hour class, it seems seamless and everyone's like, oh, it's so easy to be a fitness instructor. Just press play and like you get paid to work out. And you're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Social media is very similar. It's meant to be easy and enjoyable for the consumer.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the creators, for us, we need to know, we need to like do a whole bunch of work behind the scenes to make that happen. And fitness instructors fall into that trap because we're consumers. We're like, oh, well, she did, you know, this cute little dance. Let me do that cute little dance. Well, it's not the dance, you know, it's not the post. It's everything around it and behind it that's creating that success. And obviously that's the part that's behind this, that's behind the scenes. You don't get to see that.
Exactly.
So secret number one, choose one platform. It doesn't really matter which one. They all work. You want to grow your classes with Instagram? Yes, you can. You want to grow your classes with Facebook? Yes, you can. TikTok, email, they all are fantastic. Pick one, the one that either you enjoy the most or the one where your target audience lives the most.
Yes. Yeah.
So if your target audience is young adults, then maybe you want Instagram. If your target audience are 35 and older, then, Facebook or, but choose one, learn how to drive, learn the rules, learn the things, get that one to work. And once you start seeing progress in that platform, that means that what you're doing is working, your strategy is working, then you can transfer that to another one. But focus on one, try not to get distracted by all the shiny things. And they're doing over this on Instagram. Give them a thumbs up, wave at them through the car.
Exactly.
You,
and also I think
focus on your vehicle.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people tend to go to Instagram, but they're not, they're either hugely introverted or they don't like video. And so it's really hard, and then it becomes this really horrible thing, and they dread it every time they need to go live. I'm doing inverted commas with my fingers for those who can't see us, but it's one of those things that we think we should be doing this and we should be doing that, even if we don't like it and we feel uncomfortable with it, and that's going to show in the energy that we put out. If we're not enjoying something, it's going to show, and that energy is going to be there.
Secret number 2, have a profile that rocks. So the next big mistake I see where fitness instructors do is that for the ones who do choose Facebook, obviously that's my vehicle. That's the one I choose, right? You can go to my Instagram, but it's terribly neglected because my one platform is Facebook. But then instructors who actually, the ones who choose Facebook, what happens is that they're posting where they get the least amount of views. So everyone's concerned with what should I post? What should I post? What should I post? Take it back a second. It doesn't even matter what you post if you're posting to an empty room, right? So before we get into what to post, when to post, how often to post, like what not to post, like even before we get into all of that, we need to make sure that you're posting in a place where people can actually see the post. Yeah. Otherwise, it's the greatest promo of all time. It's the most fantastic, story of all time. And you're making this huge performance and there's no audience. So it doesn't really matter. If you're a super cool, awesome instructor, the best instructor in the world, and you're teaching to an empty class, it doesn't matter what skill set you have, right? It doesn't matter. You're teaching to an empty room. And the whole point of this is to help people. And we're not, being in front of people. So the first thing that we need to address is once you're on Facebook, where to post to get the most views. And here's a shocker. Your business page is the thing that gets the least amount of views from all of Facebook.
Yeah.
On Facebook, you can post on groups that you host, on groups that somebody else's groups in the marketplace, on your profile, on stories and on reels and on business pages. Business pages are the ones that get the least amount of views, but it's the one that most instructors use. So that's why a lot of instructors hit a wall, because they're like, I'm posting and posting and posting. Well, yes, but there's just 3 people in that room. Move to a room where there's more people, and whatever it is that you're posting, even if it's a bad post, some people might resonate with it just because there's more people there. Right. So business pages don't work. And that's because Facebook blocks your views so that you can buy views. Facebook is in the business of selling views. That's what they do. So the way that Facebook makes money is that you boost a post, or you purchase a Facebook ad through a business page. Not us necessarily, group fitness instructors, because we don't have a budget, but big companies, right? Like Coca-Cola's and the Nike. Your format probably is spending thousands of dollars per month on Facebook ads. That's how Facebook makes its money, right? It's selling the views to your format via that ad. It's not evil. I know some instructors feel like that's evil. That's advertising. That's been going on for years. This is just the social media version of that. And so what it does is that when you post on a business page, which is the vehicle that Facebook uses to, get you to purchase an ad, when you post there without purchasing an ad, they're going to block your views because they want you to purchase a boost or an ad. So by posting on your business page, you're already posting against the platform. You already have so much, against you. And this is on top of not knowing how to market, not knowing when to post, and you're already starting on the wrong foot. So business pages you can have a business page, but it's not going to work to get views. Think of a business page more of like a bulletin board or a brochure. Right? They
it's
see
more like
the thing, cancel class, schedule. Okay, they move on, but it doesn't really attract people. No. Kind of like a website, right? Back in the day, websites used to be this huge thing, and but nowadays you go to a website, and what do they do with your website? They watch. They don't click. They don't buy. They don't comment, because that's not really the interaction and they go away. And then, did you make money off of that website? Not really. They just came and they watched, right? So business pages function kind of the similar way. Think of it as a website. It's there to relay information. Most of your views are going to come from students who already know, like, and trust you, and they're already taking your class, and they come over here and they're like, oh, cancel class. Oh, this new song. Oh, right. But it doesn't really expand your view and get you more reach. So posting your business pages doesn't work unless you're going to pay for ads. If you want to, first of all, do not boost post. That doesn't work. Nobody that I've talked to, and I've talked to thousands of instructors, nobody that's boosted a post has ever told me it works. Ads are way better. And if you're going to spend on ads, you need at least $350 of the budget per month. So when you say ads, I'm not talking about, I'm going to spend $15 on an ad. That ain't going to do anything to you either.
I would also say as well, because I know, again, I've invested a lot of courses and mentors, and I wouldn't even touch Facebook ads if I didn't get exactly what to look for in terms of the data, if the ad is working, because otherwise it's just money down the drain. If you don't know those numbers and what to look for in how a Facebook ad is working or not, then there's absolutely no point in doing it. So I would, if Facebook ads, they do work, a lot of people do use them, but I would only do that if you have the kind of knowledge to know what to look for and know how to run them effectively.
And most of us don't know. Like, I know who I'm looking for, how to talk to them. Like, I know my market extremely well. I still hire an expert to run my ads. And I don't run my ads every month because they're freaking expensive. So you have to spend, at least $350 a month. So if you don't have that kind of budget, right, then don't even go near ads, and use your business page as a brochure. Put some information there, but it's not the thing that's really going to get the word out there. It's not going to spread the word for you. So just shifting your mindset into business pages are meant for businesses. We are not really businesses yet, right? We're micro businesses. That's for like businesses who have a monthly advertising budget. So different kind of business. And the next place where instructors want to post are groups. So there's two types of groups that you can post. One is groups that you own, that you host, and one are groups that you don't host. So posting in groups that you don't host, or like the marketplace, those do get you views. Continue to do that. That does spread the word, and it does it for free. So continue doing that. That is great. Yay. Posting in your Facebook group is good, but for different reasons. So having your Facebook group has limited views. So if you're trying to post on your group to get more views, again, you're posting in the wrong place for the wrong reasons. Should you have a Facebook group? Not everybody needs one, but if you have one, that it's not to get more views, it's to nurture your current views, which is a very different approach, right? The way, as a group fitness instructor, when you have, the way that you treat your regular student is very different than the way that you treat somebody new. With your regular student, you have much more rapport, and you can, challenge them more. And like I come from the dancing world in Zumba, so I tell my divas like, okay, turn this way, right? Give me a turn. Oh, I know you're a dancer. Give me a double turn. And I'll challenge them because I know I can, and I've nurtured them enough to that point. But when I get somebody new in my class, I'll give them a thumbs up. I'll limit my eye contact because I don't want to alienate them, right? I let them have their space. Right. I'm a little bit more detailed because I need them to slowly warm up to me, but I treat them differently. Same thing in your Facebook group, right? So your Facebook group is meant to nurture those people and to have them slowly warm up to you. It's not really to get people in the door. It's not really to get views. So which brings us to, where are the views? And this is the part that makes sometimes group fitness instructors uncomfortable, but the most views come from your profile, from your personal profile. And this is for three reasons. Reason number one is that that's what people have access to. When you're posting in the marketplace, when you're posting in these other groups, when you're posting even your own group, when you're commenting and liking on other people's stuff, and they see your promo and they're like, oh, Charlotte, that looks cool. What does she teach? And they click. They're not clicking on your, instructors think that they're clicking on like the registration page. They're not clicking on the registration page because you're a stranger to them. Why would they? They're clicking on your name. Who is Charlotte? And they'll click on your name, and your name doesn't take them to your business page. Your name doesn't take them to your Facebook group. Your name takes them to your profile. So that's what they have access to. That's what they are watching. Right. So that's where they are going to see you, because they don't have access to anything else. You have to tell them you have a business page, which obviously you can't because they're strangers. You don't know who's watching. Right. Or they have to land on your profile to see that, oh, she has a page, and then click on your page. So, but again, that's because they landed on your profile. So your profile is a thing that they have access to. Right. So not first and most important reason, right? How can they find you? Well, they're going to find you through your profile. Second thing is that you have unlimited potential for views, because if your posts do well on your profile, what Facebook will do is shows it to your friends first, in your friends list. And then if it does well, it'll show it to the friends of friends. And if that does well, friends of friends of friends, and then friends of friends of friends of friends of friends. So you have unlimited potential without purchasing an ad. Right? So that is huge. And the third reason is that going back to the money, the way Facebook makes money is by businesses purchasing views, right? They purchase an ad. Who is Facebook showing this ad to? People who are using the platform for free through their personal profile. So Facebook wants you to be on your personal profile, wants as many people using the free profile so that Facebook can show ads and have you see their ads. And that's how Facebook makes their money, right? So your profile really is a thing that you need to make sure is a tip top. It's an extension of your class, because that's where people are landing in if you want to use Facebook as a tool to market your classes.
And what was the number one thing you would say to have on their profile for that? Is there something that you would say make sure your bio in your profile is top notch, or make sure you've got a link here, or, you know, what would you, or is it just simply the posts?
All of it. So it's a profile that rocks. So it's kind of like, you know, you're like, okay, I want to be a fitness instructor. What routine, a Zumba instructor, you know, what routine should I learn to become a Zumba instructor? Or to teach a good class? And you're like, well, it's not a routine. It's more like a, you know, a good warm up and the whole, you know, it's like a whole thing, you know? So that's kind of your profile. So your profile is where you need to focus on to make sure that, first of all, it's a profile that stands out. Right, you don't blend with the background. It's a profile that's not alienating them. So one of the biggest mistakes I see instructors do is one of two things: either their profile comes as too strong. You know, what format do you teach, Charlotte?
I teach mainly now. I just teach yoga.
Okay, so let's say your profile is yoga. Then, you know, somebody who's not looking to get yoga will find that kind of scary, because if they do anything in your profile, they're like, Charlotte's going to come over here and like want me to get yoga. So making it to come too bold alienates people, but then not talking about yoga ever. You're like, no, I want to keep personal and business separate. I don't want to bother my friends and family. So I'm never going to post about yoga, so that I never even bother my family with even a single post about, well, then they land on your profile and they saw your cool yoga promo over here. They land on your profile. There's no yoga here. Was that a fluke? Or are you a bot? Is that a bot? Is this like, now it creates confusion because they don't see that, you know, they can't. So then they end up not purchasing because it's kind of fishy, right? Yoga over here, no yoga over here. And they move on. Right. So it's a combination of blending things and having the balance, and that's the balance that's difficult to achieve. And this is social media, right? This is not eBay. This is not Amazon. You're not here to just sell the thing. And people do not use a platform to come buy things. People come to the platform to meet with people. They want to see what you're doing. They want to see, you know, your friends and family from far, right? They want to see what you're up to. So yes, you're up to yoga. That's what you do, but you're also up to all these other things.
Definitely.
Post the other things so that they can relate with that, right? And then they can continue on the things that you do.
I know there's some when I've been coaching people as well, they get annoyed sometimes that, oh, I posted about my class or my business the other day on my profile and nobody engaged with it, but then I picture my cat and I got 100 likes. Like, but it's that balance, you know. If they see if there's engagement on that cat picture, then they're more likely then to see any promotion as well. So it's a combination of
and
both,
there's several things happening there, right? So you're being relatable, which is very important to be, and also it's stoking the Facebook algorithm. By the way, personal posts, right? Your children, your cats, your pets, your salad will always outperform your business post. And that is normal. That's not something that you're doing wrong. It's not that you need to make the post flashier or bigger or video. It's 100% normal. Your personal post will always outperform your business post. If that is happening to you, you're not weird. That's normal.
Definitely.
Expect that. You should expect that.
Exactly. Okay, number 3. Before we run out of time.
Which, by the way, at the end, I do have the notes for all of this. I have 5 secrets to share. I'm only sharing 3 in this podcast, but you will be able to get the free download for all 5 of them. And so, you know, at the end,
we'll put that in the show notes. Make sure, these are amazing. Like, these are amazing.
Otherwise, I'm here talking for like an hour. This is why my courses are longer. I have a 6-week course and a 6-month course. You don't really realize how deep this goes, and then you need to put it in practice, right? It's not just about learning the things, it's about getting it done. And that needs some reps, that needs some practice. So secret number 3 is to show up. Another big mistake instructors do is once they choose a platform, Facebook, yay. And once they're finally posting on their profile where there's actual people in their profile and they're seeing it, they end up posting whatever, you know, and it's like, well, how often do you post? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, how often do you post about my classes, about anything? Sometimes 4 times a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. And, you know, they're just kind of all over the place when it comes to posting. And that's a problem, because you need to think of your marketing as an extension of your class. You need to keep it professional, and you need to show up consistently. Imagine if you only showed up to your classes sometimes, when you felt like teaching, when you were motivated to teach, when you felt like waking up at 5 a.m. to teach your cycle class, right? Like if you only showed up to your classes whenever you felt like it, that would not be professional, right? An employer would fire you like in a second because you're unreliable. And if you're renting space or you have a studio, you would lose that business pretty quickly because you're unreliable, right? Yet we expect our marketing to be whenever, wherever, however, we're improvising our marketing and then expecting it to fill our classes and then wondering why it's not working. You need to treat it with the same professionalism that you take teaching a class. Right? If you show up to your class and you show up on time, and most of us, we don't even show up on time. We show up before time and we stay later. We put in the extra mile every single time. Right. And we take trainings behind the scenes that our students have no idea that we're training. And we stay updated in those trainings, and we stay updated in our licenses or certifications and CPRs and all of those things. And we practice those things. All of those, the student doesn't see that, right? We show up in that space and we show up behind the scenes. So when it comes to your social media, when you teach on a schedule, right? As a professional, fitness professional, you teach on a schedule, regardless of your feelings. You show up to work. For your marketing, you need to post on a schedule, regardless of your feelings. I don't feel like posting. I don't care. I'm not inspired to post. So I'm not motivated to post. Okay. I don't know what to post. Post something.
Yeah.
And show up. You show up. I know I've been teaching now for 20 years. I teach my class whether I feel like it or not, whether it's raining and shining. I have a headache. I'm PMSing. My kids are, shouting at the top of their lungs, and I have to drop in the daycare, take a deep breath, and somehow smile and put that all, behind me and give a class. And I teach no matter what.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a market and I'm going to, use this tool to build my classes, I need to treat that with that same professionalism. Will you always be inspired to post? Of course not. There's times that I don't feel like teaching. Honestly, I don't. I'm poor or whatever. I had a late night, but I go through the warm up, and then by the end of the warm up, I'm like, okay. I'm kind of enjoying this, and you kind of
Yeah.
So you need to post on a schedule. You need to stick to that schedule. Not every post is going to be, a home run. Not every post is going to be awesome. Some of these posts, you're just going to literally just get it done, but it's out there. It's on a schedule. You showed up, you're consistent, you're building that habit. So
I think sometimes it's because we don't have that maybe instant gratification, or we don't see the post like working, because a lot of marketing is like, we think nobody's watching. If we don't get a like, or we don't get a comment, we think nobody's watching, but there's people still seeing posts and they're watching. And if we're only, like you said, if we're only posting every now and then, people aren't going to get that overall view of who we are and what we're about and what our classes are about and the whole package. But yeah, consistency and showing up is a huge thing.
And consistency will outweigh quality in a lot of the cases. So what should I post right now? It doesn't even matter. As long as you're consistent, that will build your audience. Once you have that audience and you start, thinking about the quality of the post, that will help you improve that audience and get that audience to take action. But just posting consistently is enough to build an audience.
Yeah.
The post, a lot of these instructors put too much pressure on this post, right? It's like, I'm making a promo and I want everybody to see that promo, and I want everybody to like that promo, and I want everybody to go to class because of that promo. That's way too much pressure on this one little post that you're improvising, that you have no idea, whether it's who's it meant to attract and why, right? So consistency really, I mean, these are things that, this is how you build, your classes as well, old school. You just show up to teach your class. Show up and teach your class, and people will see that you're there every Monday at 9 a.m. Especially if you're a gym, there's that foot traffic. You'll see that, right? So Facebook, there's a lot of foot traffic if you're posting consistently. But if you're sometimes teaching in class, that's why I wear a white hat. Oh, she's teaching. Oh, she's teaching. Oh, she's teaching, and it starts to get into people's head. But if they see me, occasionally, then they kind of, it fades.
Yeah, definitely.
That consistency. So as a minimum, you should be posting twice per week. If you're posting less than that, I post once, and it doesn't have to be about Zoom, about your classes or about fitness. It can be about anything. Just using it. This is like back to driving the car, right? If you want to, as a minimum, you have to, drive it around the block.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to get the hang of it all. Are you taking people? Doesn't matter. Are you getting to a destination? Doesn't matter. Are you using all the things? Doesn't matter. You're just practicing driving around the block, right? We'll get into the freeway. We'll get into people going into the car. We'll get into the bigger things later. But if you don't know how to drive around the block, you're not going to be able to do the rest of it. So as a minimum, post twice per week on your platform. And it can be a mix of only your fitness, which I do not recommend, only personal. That's kind of better than only fitness, or it can be one post about your fitness and one post about your life, which is how you kind of blend and not, your family can relate to your life post. And then you're attracting people with your fitness post. So that kind of gives it a good balance. But as a minimum, twice per week. So if you're not worked up to that and you're used to posting, you want to keep it the same days. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, keep it on the same day, or Mondays and Fridays, keep it on the same day, put it on your phone, put it on your calendar, and imagine it's another fitness class. This is the Facebook format.
Yeah.
When you teach the format, you take a training. I teach Facebook, like this is a format, and you're teaching the Facebook class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's your post. Like,
it's just getting it into a habit, isn't it, of doing, or like anything, your classes, you may be getting paid for, and you want to do your classes, so it's easier to do that. But if it's something that you don't want to do, like brushing our teeth every morning, we do it because we need to, and we've got into the habit of doing it. So it's just simply finding that habit. And again, even if you start with those 2 posts a week, set an alarm on I always set alarms on my phone to get a habit introduced, and just get into the habit of posting. That's what consistency is, really, isn't it? Just a habit of doing something.
And it takes about 3 weeks for a new habit to settle in. So if you say, okay, I'm going to post twice a week as a minimum, put it on your phone, give yourself 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, sometimes you'll hit it, sometimes you won't. It's okay if you're messy. You'll just start, you'll get it on the next one. But you're now creating that habit, and you're giving yourself some time to create that habit. And then, 3 or 4 weeks passed, and you're now, you're training your brain. So at the beginning, it's going to be very difficult. You're like, it's Tuesday. Oh crap, it's Tuesday. What should I post? And it's going to take you, you're resisting, because we're taking something that you used to do as a hobby, and, we're making it something that's meant to be professional.
Yeah.
Same way that when you, back in the day, when you were a student of your format, you're like, oh my God, this is so fun. Right. And sometimes you go to class, sometimes you didn't, sometimes you showed up late, sometimes you left early. But the moment you became an instructor, you had to change all that. And you had to show up, you had to get there early, you had to, be on your A game every single time. And and that took a while for you to kind of get used to, right? Same thing with this. There's going to be some resistance at the beginning, but allowing yourself to make mistakes is okay. Allowing yourself to be messy is okay. Messy action is better than no action. Just get it done, right? Make a post. Say, Happy Wednesday. It's a selfie like that. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
Those 3 weeks, just get it. Post a quote, whatever. Take a picture of your cats and post it. Like, it doesn't have to be anything big or fantastic. You just have to get it done, and then you can work up to posting 4 times a week and more times a week. Obviously, the more that you post, the better it helps the algorithm and builds your audience. But if you're going from 0 to, posting daily, it's unlikely you'll be able to sustain that. Yeah. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So after those 3 or 4 weeks, if you were posting Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're going to start to feel it. And you're like, wait, I should be, it's Tuesday. I need to do my post. And it'll come quicker. So it does get easier down the road.
I always say be inconsistently consistent in the beginning. So like I say, if you do miss 1 or 2, it's fine. Don't think that's the end of the world. It's just like, okay, let's start again. Let's do it again. And then it gets it to you that you're consistent all the time. So it's that kind of messy process in the beginning, but being inconsistently consistent in the beginning, and then consistency comes with time.
Yeah. And that's what I tell my clients, something similar. I'm like, when we're starting this journey and we're figuring out their own posting schedule, and, I sit down with every single one of my clients, I'm very like high touch. I don't want you doing this alone. I know what it's like to do this alone. So I'm very like have a Zoom call, and I'm going to send you a message, and we're going to do this. And we are constantly communicating. And I tell them, it's okay to be messy. I'm not expecting perfection. I don't want perfection. I want you to get things done. So like, repeat after me, get it done. Like that's the whole goal for the first 3 weeks that we're working together, is to just get it done. We'll work on the quality of what's going on there later, but I can't work on quality if there's nothing there to work on. Right. Yeah. So get it done. If it was messy, it's okay. If it flopped, that's okay. If nobody saw it, that's okay. If it was uncomfortable, that's okay. Did it get done? Yes, that's the win.
That's absolutely.
Like when you're trying to lose weight, right? Did you go to the gym? Oh, but I only did 30 minutes of class. Or did you go to the gym? Yes, exactly. That's the win. You made it to the gym.
We are really good, aren't we, at telling our clients stuff. Like fitness professionals really good at giving advice, but actually a lot of fitness advice goes into business advice as well, like the consistency of doing a workout, of eating well. It kind of intertwines, and I say that a lot to my clients as well. But a lot of my clients will say things like, I set up a lot of email list building and emails with my clients. And they're like, right, I've got that set up. I've got my sign up page set up. I was like, right, have you sent your first email to the people that are on the list? No, I just want my emails to be a little bit more perfect before I send them out. And it's like, no, just do it, just send it. But we always, want that perfection first. These are amazing. And so there's 2 more, which again, I'll put the link in the show notes. But any last little bits, and where can people find you, work with you, follow you, and get your free amazing advice and energy?
Yes, of course. So just to recap, the 3 secrets are: secret number 1, choose one platform, get good at it, right? Obviously, I choose Facebook. Secret number 2 is make sure that your profile rocks. That's where you get the most views. That's where people land. So you want to be very mindful what goes on your profile. And secret number 3 is to show up consistently the same way that you show up for your classes. So post twice a week, choose which days you're going to post, and stick to that for at least 3 weeks. You can find me obviously on Facebook. Facebook is the thing. So you can find my profile, and it's in the show links. But more importantly, you can find me at my Facebook group, which is called The Stage, where fitness instructors use Facebook to grow their classes. So I do weekly trainings, very similar to this one, just shorter. I do weekly trainings there on all things: how to grow your classes, how to use Facebook, how to make more money with your classes. And I also run challenges and raffles, and all of this sort of stuff goes on inside the free Facebook group. So please go check that out. You'll also have access to the Facebook notes for today's, but not 3 secrets, but all 5 secrets to hack your classes using Facebook. And if you would like more information on my 6-week course, that is the course that helps instructors double, triple, and even quadruple their fitness classes, then just send me an email or send me a message on Facebook and we'll get chatting. So yeah.
Fabulous. I will put all of that information in the show notes, so you don't need to remember all of that because it's all under the show notes. Really amazing to have you. And like I say with all my guests, we need to get you on again later on in the year and talk some more about this, because we could go on forever and ever and ever. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all your advice and all your info. And yeah, definitely go and give Jessica a follow and a like, and join her group.
Thank you, Charlotte, so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me and listening to this podcast episode. If you found anything interesting, inspiring, motivating, useful, or just something that you're going to implement from this podcast episode, then please reach out to me and let me know. I love to hear your stories, and I'd love to hear how this has helped you and what you're going to implement. It's my aim and my passion to help fitness business owners build thriving fitness businesses, but also to build a fitness business without burnout and exhaustion, because that's where I found myself a few years ago, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So if you need help with your fitness business, whether it's transitioning online, building your classes to fully booked, marketing, having a website and an app, or mastering social media, I think I can help. I have free resources to get you started. I also have some masterclasses in a membership that can really help you to dive in and out of training as and when you need it. And I also have the Ultimate Fitness Business Academy, where you literally have everything, as well as the full guidance and full support from me and my eyes on your fitness business. So I can really give you advice and feedback, and we can create a personalized fitness business that not only feels good and aligned with you and what you want to create, but is also successful, thriving, and profitable. All the links to these are below, and please reach out to me if there's anything else that you need or you want to see on the podcast.